Alright, so I wanted to do a quick follow-up on some of the things that I've noticed using the Rane Performer versus the RaV7. So if you haven't seen my last video, go check it out. It just talks about the difference between what I noticed was a big game changer, or at least for me, right, opinion wise. So I wanted to shout out to this specific feature. So I want to say it's a feature, but I know the Rane 1 and the Rane 12 have this, and if you can feel that, that's actually a turntable feel button, if you know what I mean. For those who are turntable DJs, love that, right? So it's a click. You can actually feel it like an actual turntable. Besides from, you know, the plastic buttons, because these just feel like buttons, and this feels like a turntable button. So you see that. That's one of the cool features that I noticed. The other part was the actual cue buttons. They are rubbery. Like, not rubbery, but they're bounce backs. I don't know if you can see that. So they do bounce back, which is freaking awesome. Like, it has that precise feel where you can actually tell if you're hitting a cue point or not. And you can see how much of it goes down and it bounces back up. So that's really cool. Besides, there's other ones like these do the same, right? And then there's ones that have click and they're plastic. These are more rubbery, right? Which is cool. Compared to, I got the RaV7 here. Compared to these, you can see they just feel like a rubber part and it doesn't bounce back. You know, I've used these a lot, so I've had this RaV7 since launch date, and I kind of wish there was a bounce back thing to it, but yeah. The other part, like with this is more like a CDJ style type of button, right? It's not like that one. This more has that CDJ type. If you like that, cool. I did notice something with the motor. So I know the last video I mentioned something that having a slow start. I know people were mentioning that you can change the time and all that in Serato, you know, when you want to hit the cue on the actual play or start button. So I did look into it, and it still kind of has that slow startup, which was kind of annoying. But this doesn't, right? I've had the same Serato settings for both on the same laptop, and this will start right on cue, right, for play. But here's something that I did notice. So if you see the play, right, let's pretend, right, there's a song, there was a slow startup. Now if I hit stop, see how it kind of bounces back, but it's not as bad as this one. Notice this one, when I hit play, right, it's got that instant start, but if I hit stop, see how it bounces back? Try it again so you guys can see it. Play. See that? Like, it wobbles on a stop. This, I noticed, does it, I mean, sometimes, right? But that's, you know, major difference. And you can hear it, right? When you want to do like one of those turntable stops, right? You can hear that little sound. I know you can adjust, right, the start and stop time. I mean, this will fix it, right? But it still does it. So we'll go like somewhere around there. Play, and then there's it even does it that way. So I don't know if that's a feature within Serato or within the actual motor board or something that hopefully might get fixed on a firmware update. But yeah, now the other part that I did notice was a huge sound difference, right? I know this one's got a 48K sound card. This is still running no, I think this one has a 48 sound card as well. But the way they run their boards and their sound is a little bit different, right? So I did notice that with the Rane Performer, it was warmer, and especially during like mixes, right? When, especially when cutting lows, right? When we're mixing and all that. So I mix a lot of Spanish music too, so I notice the difference. And not just, in headphones, but rather in the sound system. So was out using it for a few gigs this past weekend, and can tell that this definitely just is much, I don't know, higher output or whatever it is. Even, right, having a little bit of red, it doesn't distort or doesn't limit like, the Pioneer does. Once this hits red, it starts limiting and it starts sounding like crap. So this is one of the things that I always make sure to keep volume down, right? I know there's a lot of controller DJs that want to have a 12 o'clock position, but with the Rev 7, it's a little bit tricky, with having it going from redlining. So, yeah, and one of the things I'm still getting used to is the effects. There is crazy amount of effects, which is cool, right? There's so much stuff happening on here. I know some of the RaneFour users are, used to the effects and all that, but with it having, the screens pretty much all around, gives it that pretty cool feeling of, especially when doing stems right now, you're able to tell, whereas a dedicated button and screen tells you all that. And this is a little bit confusing, right? Because you kind of have to like remember, kind of like the S9, S11 type of deal. But with this one, yeah, the effects and the stem feature is pretty awesome. I did like that the screen shows like, the acapella melody, bass, and all that, just so I wouldn't get confused. So I did notice that the gains were a little bit different, and it just depends, right? If you have a turntable or something off to the side where you want to play some vinyl, I am not sure with how, I haven't tried that yet, how loud that's going to sound, and if you do have to turn up the gain quite a lot, let's hope not. That is something that I did encounter. I did try different aux cable as well, and still got the same effect. Mic works great. It is cool to have the actual, the channel just for itself here, where you can have the button to turn it on or off, or you can have the second mic input, which I do have two mics, and I run two mics down here, wireless mics. That helps a lot. I haven't taken time to actually clean the rails, but I did notice when I was cutting and scratching and all that, it is pretty good. Yeah, I do like it. It's just the fader cap's a little bit smaller, shorter, whatever you want to call it. I'll post a picture here so you guys can see what I'm talking about with the Pioneer. Guys, they're used to having that like tall fader, and I do like that, right? That's one of the things I do like about this mixer controller is the Magville fader. I do love this. But as far as this one, yeah, it's a little bit different. It feels like Rane, right? Rane has always had this type of crossfader, and chroma caps and all that have replacements, and Innofader have the same one. So yeah, not much there. There's questions being asked about the actual platters, because it's got that turn off the motor feature. Now if you're able to turn it off, we'll both shut off. So the answer is they're independent, and I'll show you here quick. So excuse me, I only have two hands, so I'm gonna hold shift and then press that motor button there. I mean, this is still playing, right? I don't have a Serato hooked up to it. That one, you can see it's still spinning, so it shows them being independent of each other. And I did test this at the gig, so I'll do this in two. So shift, motor, and there it is. So I mean, they're technically playing internally, but it's sending the MIDI signal to Serato. It will send the MIDI signal to Serato. If I hit shift and turn on the motor again, there we go, it's playing. And then same here, shift, motor. Yeah, so I think that's pretty cool. And you can use it if it's in that mode. Sorry, let me do it one more time. You can use it to pitch bend. So when you have the motor off and you have Serato, you have a song playing or whatever, so you can use this as a pitch bend, which is cool. For us CDJs or turntable, we're so used to having the little slit there in the middle to pitch up and down the turntable. Now we get to do this. But yeah, otherwise there is a dedicated pitch bend button here. And I'm trying to figure out, there is some cool things, right? I did get used to the scroll knob. It's just a little bit different type of workflow now. I do use this side a lot, and not this one. I did put some chroma caps that I did have for my Rane 72. They fit just perfect. I kind of was trying to get them all right color coordinated. I'm planning on getting a skin from 12-inch skins, kind of customize it and all that. But I'm gonna post some pictures here in the video so you guys can see, more details about the performer and all that. That way, kind of show it off a little bit, just because I know a lot of guys have been having questions about certain things like the channel faders and all that. I think that's pretty much it. So if you haven't seen or followed me on Instagram, I try to post stuff there just so you guys can see, right, the events, whatever. I did have to replace this one just because I'm a visual guy, right, and I like to see, right. So that's the cue and mix or main headphone output. Just because I always get confused, right. I did that with the Rev 7, so I did, right. This is a different one than this one. It's just to tell the difference between the two. So again, it's a whole different workflow, but if you're a good DJ, you pretty much know how to work with whatever you got, right? So this is what I've gotten used to here in the past week or so, and this helps. This definitely helps, right? Having something like that where I could just cue it up, do this, and going back to the old school mode where if you want to hear the cues, right, you go this way, compared to how the Rev 7 has it, where it's the slider. I mean, this is cool and all that, right? Got used to that, but a lot of the times I gotta hear the aux, and this doesn't have an aux input. I mean, it does have it. It's like a portable aux, but it doesn't queue up the actual aux on the Rev 7, and this is something that I've always wanted, is to queue up tracks, just to have maybe Spotify or playlists for dinner services and or receptions and all that require, right, some slow music or and all that. So that's why I needed a 4-channel mixer, and I do have an extra deck, and I do try to have some extra songs for backups lists on this one, just in case something does happen, because I do like to run beta Serato sometimes, and just to have it for peace of mind. But yeah, and if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'm gonna post pictures here on the video, so let me know if you guys have any questions. If you haven't followed the group on Facebook, it's the Rane group. I help manage it, and it's got a lot of info from a lot of DJs. If you have any problems or anything, I recommend you join the group. But otherwise, that's it. If I have any more updates, I'll post them on my YouTube channel or on Instagram. Alright, that's it, y'all. Peace.